see. I have to refresh here, go to live.
Test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2, test.
I do not see it live on YouTube yet. Oh, there we go. Here it comes. And I have to
Test, test.
turn
1,
off this.
2. Oh, yeah.
I believe it is working.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. I'm going to put the intro video on. Hello, 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 hello. Hey, bro, can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on, people, while
Only
we.
because I had the thing on mute.
Yes, okay, much better. All right, everybody, this is Illusion Weaver here.
Hey guys, it's Cuckoo Puffs.
Mm. We have a lot to go through today. This is Hunter's Lodge 11. All about the Cubiverse, which is coming really, really soon now. So let's just get started, right? Oh, first, before we get started, we kind of forgot to organize our usual viewership contest. And sorry for that, but instead, what we're going to do, we decided to just give everybody 3 contest boxes. The only thing you need to do is make sure you at least log in once today, and everybody gets 3 contest boxes. So good luck opening those. All right, let's go. Okay, let's start about September. We're in September, which is the last month of Coin Hunt World, which means September will be the last leaderboards of Coin Hunt World and will be the last adventure road of Coin Hunt World. Another important thing that's going to happen is on September 16, the auction house listings will be disabled, so we have some time to like empty out the auction house. All the listings get bid on or returned, and while we prepare for the Cubiverse. Then the first month of the Cubiverse will be October. So the October 1st is when the Coin Hunt World servers will go down, and then October 3rd is when Cubiverse Early Access goes live for everybody, both on Android and iOS. So yes, I'm very sorry, but you will have all to spend 2 days without your favorite game. But we need this time to prep for the launch of Cubiverse. So let's take a look at Cubiverse Early Access. What new features and what changes will be included in the launch of Early Access on October 3? Let's take a look. So I create a little bit of a map, overview map of all the new features and all the new things we put in the game. And just as a handy guide. So as you can tell, yeah, this has been something we've been working almost a year on now. So this is the biggest release we've done so far. And let's take a closer look at each of these things. Okay, let's start with the loot system, right? The loot system in Coin Hunt World was very simple. Doesn't matter if you had a chill, good, or great, you always had the same loot table with just fixed amounts of QB coins. Now in Cubiverse, we will have a more dynamic loot system. So we'll have separated loot table for chill, good, great, and perfect. And which means that we can do things like when you play under chill mode, you get more resources but less cubicoins. When you play in hunter mode, you get more cubicoins but less resources. So we can make it a little bit more dynamic like that.
We can also make it so that certain things only drop if you get perfects.
Yep. Okay, so another important change to the loot system is the dynamic reward system, which follows the following formula, right? It's the base table times power level plus country modifier plus boost level. Now, don't freak out about this. This is all too complicated for you. It really the bottom line of this is that there are things that are in your hands and there are things that are in our hands, and combination of those two will increase the rewards of cubicoins in certain structures. Let's just take a look at how that actually is going to work. Let's take a look at the first thing, the base table, right? So here is an example. This is the base table for a white vault. So let's say you get a great answer. You get somewhere in the range of 3 to 13 cubicoins. You get somewhere between 30 and 120 resin, and you get a random paint between 8 to 30 paint, right? So as you can see, for example, you get a lot more resin when you play in chill mode. But you can get up to a lot more cubicoins when you get a perfect. Also, every time you solve a vol of a certain color, you know there's a very slow chance you get a key from a higher tier. That now can only happen on perfect answers, not on any of the other answers anymore. All right, so that's the base table. So this is where everything starts from, right? And let's take a look at the second part, the power level. The power level is the power level is the influencer that is in your hands, meaning you have full control over the power level. We will give you the tools to increase the power level in this formula, which means the power level is the cubie level that you stuffed inside your structure plus the level of the structure, right? So let's take an example here. We have a white user vault stuffed with a UK cubie. Let's assume that the owner of this white user vault leveled up the white user vault to level 10, and they leveled up the UK cubie to level 10, which means the cubie is 10, the structure is 10, which gives a power level of 20%. So this white user vault will now pay out 20% more cubie coin. Okay, let's take out the next thing, the country modifier. Okay, the country modifier is a big name that encompasses a lot of different things, but the essence, when you boil it down, is the more successful cubie versus in your country, the higher the country modifier will be. So again, part of this is going to be in your hands. For example, if you refer a lot of players and you get a lot of people playing in your country, that will affect the country modifier. But it's also a little bit in our hands, because if we manage to do a lot of business deals in a certain country, that can also affect the power level. But if you just want to summarize it, the power level is the more successful the game is in your country, the higher the power level. Now, what does the power level do? The country modifier, excuse me. Different things. The first thing it will influence is, according to the formula we just talked about, it will influence the amount of cubie coins you will receive from rewards, from vaults, etc. But it will also influence the weekly export cap, and it will also influence the cost of structure blueprint. So if Cubiverse is doing really good in your country and the country modifier goes up, that means that you will get more cubie coins from rewards. The weekly export cap will go up, but the cost to build structures in the Cubiverse in your country will also go up. Okay, let's take a closer look at that. These are the country modifiers as they're going to be when we launch in October 3rd, right? So United States has a country modifier of 2, United Kingdom 1.65, El Salvador 1.09, Canada 1.8, Philippines 1.1, Malaysia 1.08. Part of how we come to these numbers is related to the cost of living and, like I said, the success of our game in these countries. So what does this mean? Let's take USA for an example. United States has a country modifier of 2. That means if we go back here at the base table, that means that these numbers are all doubled, right? And that's not without power level. Even with a power level 0, all these cubie coins numbers are essentially doubled. Okay. Okay, then we have one more thing to talk about, which is the boost level. Oh, sorry, no, one thing before this. So the country modifier will also influence the weekly export cap. So in the United States, the weekly export cap will be 10 USD, but you will need 10,000 cubie coins before you can export. And while in El Salvador, the export cap is 5.45 USD, but you only need to accumulate 5,450 cubie coins until you can export. The country modifier is something that will change several times a year, depending, if we have new information and we see suddenly like our player base goes up times 100 in Malaysia, then Malaysia country modifier will go up. Okay, so that's the last part here is the boost level. So I can't talk too much about this now, but I'm actually super excited about this part. This part is designed, it's not necessarily designed for the players. It is designed for business owners who want to attract additional customers to their physical location. So if you own a mom and pop store somewhere and you're a avid coin hunt world player and you would love to have some kind of extra boost in your structure so people come to visit your cafe or whatever it is you have, with the boost level, this is how you can achieve that. I don't think we can say much more than this at this point though about the boost level, right, Bill?
No, there's going to be some exciting stuff here, but we'll save it for like the next, or maybe like 1 or 2 Hunters Lodges down the road.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's talk about the rewards you get. So we have a daily login reward in Cubiverse. So every 24 hours when you log in, you will get 50 white keys. So nobody should ever feel like they can't really do much anymore because they ran out of keys. You always get like a nice chunk of base keys just to go out on a hunt. And then, of course, we have our boosted walking rewards. So we talked about this in the past, but you will get your blue keys for reaching certain walking milestones. And then at milestone 1, 3, and 6, you will get an additional bonus box which will drop a random amount of white keys. So, you know, we want to have a place where putting any effort into the game is going to be rewarded. So if you put in your walking quest, you will get rewarded for them. Let's talk about the map. So we have a new POI flow. We also talked about that in the past. Higher density in rural areas, 80% white, 20% blue votes. All the user votes, all the user votes from Coin Hunt World turned into system votes. So if you spend a lot of time making a really nice path along along a lake in a park or something that you can hunt every day with your user vaults in Coin Hunt World, those will all be system vaults, so you can literally hit the same path again, and everybody, all new players signing up for Cubiverse will instantly be able to enjoy what you created in Coin Hunt World. And also everybody who claimed a green vault in Coin Hunt World, those vaults will instantly be available on day one in Cubiverse. Then pre-seed attacks. So we're making a lot of progress on pre-seed attacks, and we managed to import the most popular tags from OpenStreetMaps. And we're planning to, on a regular basis, sync up with the OpenStreetMap database and our tagging database, which means that there will be a way for you. Let's say you can right now after this stream, you can go to OpenStreetMaps and look at your local area, and if you see that none of the restaurants are tagged, that means that sadly there's probably nobody working diligently on OpenStreetMaps to keep your neighborhood up to date. But everybody can do it for themselves, and if somebody wants to do it, then we will create a guide on how to keep your local area up to date on OSM, so it gets reflected into the tag database in Cubiverse. So we are working on that, so that will be released soon. And then the yellow vault changes. So we are expecting a lot of new players to join in Cubiverse, and we want these people to feel what it was like to build their city's yellow vaults back up. So all the yellow vaults have been reset with a couple of other changes that we mentioned in the last Hunter's Lodge. So those are the map changes. Let's talk about cubie leveling. Super excited about this one. I don't even know. I still don't know which cubie I'm going to level up first. Do you have an idea, Bill?
Well, I only have like 6 cubies, so it's
Shame. Shame.
So it'll probably be a construction cubie, actually.
Oh yeah, that's a smart idea with all the building we'll be doing. I'll probably have to go with the pirate first. So cubie leveling. So here's how it works. You can pick which cubie you want to level up by just equipping the cubie. So whenever the cubie is equipped, and then you go out on a hunt, if you start solving vaults with this cubie, then you will start accumulating experience points. If you accumulate enough experience points, your cubie will level up from 1 to 2, and so on and so on. But of course, it gets gradually a little bit more difficult each time you level up. So it's up to you. You can decide to maybe switch it up every day and level up a whole bunch of cubies at the same rate, or just focus on one until you get it to level 10. It's all up to you. But one thing is, for the release on October 2nd, the cubie leveling will be capped at to level 10. So everybody will be able to level up all their cubies to level 10. There will be a system that requires you to level up past level 10, but we will talk about that in the next Hunter's Lodge, because it's tied into the NFT export that we are aiming to do next year. But yeah, you can see here the color. We added a couple of more actions you can do to level up to earn experience points for your cubies. So sushi quest, for example, body quests, and of course a monument is like a whole bunch of chunks of XP points.
I mean, this is all related to time. So sushi quests obviously take a lot more time than just solving a white ball, which is why it's worth 100 points compared to a single point from a white ball.
Yes. Okay, QB stats. So each QB will also have a bunch of stats. It will have a level that we just talked about. It will have a class, an element, a zodiac sign, and it will also have an affinity. I think we haven't talked about affinity in the past, but the affinity represents the QB's greatest passion. Not most QBs do not have an affinity assigned yet. That will be assigned over time, when it makes sense for us to give a certain QB a certain affinity. But there are a couple of ones that already have an affinity. For example, the Sneaky Seal really loves sushi. So he has an affinity for sushi. Okay, now let's take a look at all of these. And let's start by taking a look at what are the 10 classes a QB could be and what are the icons for this. Here are the 10 QB classes with their icons. So if you look through your QBs in inventory and you see one that has like the tiger face, that means that QB is class warrior. Okay, let's take a look at the elements. There are 18 different QB elements. You know, silver, sand, ice, earth, sun, forest, a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And then the zodiacs, of course. Here are the icons for the zodiacs. So the zodiac gets assigned when the QB is printed. So when you print a QB in a certain date period, that's going to decide what zodiac it is. So you could, for example, have a fire dragon Taurus, and your neighbor could have a fire dragon Gemini. That's totally possible.
Yep. And that'll be retroactive, right? We're calculating zodiac signs based off of when you printed your QB.
And another thing, printing your QB. Oh yeah, so for the achievement QBs, since you don't print those, the achievement QBs get an assigned zodiac depending on the date when you achieve the QB. One exception though, the zodiac QBs, obviously they're gonna have their own zodiac. So technically you could like rush the adventure road and get a Taurus QB before it's actually Taurus season, but a Taurus is always going to be a Taurus. That makes no sense to have a Taurus that is not a Taurus. Okay. And then the affinities, like I said, most of the QBs do not have an affinity assigned yet. However, there are already some. There are only 2 affinities right now in the game. One is sushi, one is pizza. And like again, like the Sneaky Seal is an example here. He has the affinity sushi. Why is that important? For example, when later this year, when we allow all the players to build a sushi quest restaurant themselves, then you need to staff it, and then the requirement to staff will be it needs a QB that has an affinity sushi, for example. So you could put your Sneaky Seal QB to work inside a sushi structure once you start building them yourself, which should come fairly soon. All right, so let's talk about new QBs. First of all, we have this guy right here, the Tony, which is a new common construction QB blueprint. How do you get the blueprint? Easy. Once QBverse opens, just find a crane somewhere, slide 1 puck in, and you will get the blueprint of Tony. Okay, let's talk about first prints. Okay. So this is something that the community was really asking for, so we managed to get this done. All personal first prints are going to be reset for the QBverse. Of course, it doesn't count for global first print, that's already printed, but in QBverse, you can reprint all your QBs and still get the first print bonus. However, printing QBs will no longer yield leaderboard points. It will now instead, it will yield experience points. It will yield experience points for the QB that you have equipped while you're doing the printing, not the QB you are printing, the QB you are having equipped. According to the following metrics, if you print an epic, you get 250 experience points. So if you have 5 epics and you want to level up a specific QB, you can just wear that QB and go ham on those 5 epics, and you just earn a whole bunch of experience points for that QB. Okay, we have another set, an entirely new set of randomizer cubies live from day one in the Cubiverse. They are called the chromatic cubies, and that's all I'm going to say about it. You guys will have to figure this one out. All right, build mode. We talked about this, and this will be live from day one in Cubiverse. The whole build mode system will be in there, and as you remember, it requires 4 steps to start building in the Cubiverse. Step 1, buy a construction blueprint. Step 2, stamp it in a print shop or an advanced print shop. Step 3, build it. Step 4, operate it. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. Now, we can't release all the different structures at the same time, so we're going to release them in waves. So what are the first structures you will be able to start building on day one? On day one, you will be able to build 2 structures, the white user vault and the advanced print shops. Why these 2? Because the white user vault is the easiest one. It has literally the lowest amount of rules of any of the structures. You can build on any tag, doesn't matter what tag it is, and you can stuff it with any cubie, no requirements whatsoever. The second one is the advanced print shops, and we need this one to be part of wave 1 because all the other structures need an advanced print shop. I mean, some of the other structures need an advanced print shop because it needs to get stamped with more than one country stamp. So the advanced print shop, where can you build that? And this is actually really important. A lot of players, they need to, let's say, drive half an hour to the closest print shop, or sometimes even longer. Now with the advanced print shop, you can place one much closer for you. So if you are in an area where it's hard to get to a print shop, get the advanced print shop. You can build it on any store tag, and you need to have a QB of class worker, but don't worry, the worker class is a very common class of QB. So if you have a nice chunk of different QBs, at least one of them will be a worker. And so you can staff the advanced print shop with any worker QB. Okay, we're also going to unify the crafting system. So all QB printing formulas have changed and now follow a same formula, right? And the formula is very simple. Any common blueprint will require 500 resources, 1,000 resin. Any rare will require 1,000 of a common resource, 500 of a rare resource, 5,000 resin. Any epic blueprint will require 2,000 of a common, 1,000 of a rare resource, and then either 500 of a regular epic resource or 1 of a unique epic resource. Some epic resources are unique. For example, witch's hat, dog collars. You will only need 1 of those. And then
sushi knife.
Sushi knife, yep. And then the legendaries, they are legendary hard, so you're gonna have to grind a lot of epic resources for those. Now, this is just half of the equation here. We also changed all the places where you can earn the common, rare, and epic resources. So I'm not gonna just go through all these numbers here. We just take a screenshot of this, or come back to it later if you want to see. But the contest boxes, the big tickler boxes, and the adventure road, they all now follow a formula on what they can potentially give out to you. Okay, so those are all the resource changes. Okay, well, I'm guessing a lot of you are now a little curious about the new formulas and the new elements of their favorite cubies. Well, I have some good news. We have collaborated with the wiki team, and after this presentation, you will be able to go to the Coin Hunt wiki and look up any of your QB that you want to look at, and they will feature the new recipes, their class, their elements, and everything. Great job, wiki team. That was awesome. You guys helped us out with this. All right, let's talk about the new leaderboards. We'll have 3 distinct leaderboards in Cubiverse. We'll have the Hunter leaderboards, which is the leaderboards that we all know. We just had a really, really exciting leaderboard race in August. It was came down to the last hours, very spectacular. super hard hunting. So that's the hunter leaderboards, but we will also have explorer leaderboards, and we'll have builder leaderboards starting in October. So October will be the first month for the explorer and the builder leaderboard, and the hunter, of course. Okay. Red boosted vaults. Right. So we wanted to add a little bit of a high risk, high reward, but also something unpredictable to the hunt, which is how we implemented these red boosted vaults. So the red boosted vaults, they can literally appear out of nowhere. So you're on a hunt and suddenly you will get a notification that the red boosted vault spawns somewhere near you, which means if you get the notification, you're somewhere in a 10-kilometer range around the area where the red boosted vault spawned. Red boosted vaults always spawns on top of a green vault. So every country just get picked a random green vault once a week, turns into a red boosted vault. First player that gets there has the chance to go for it. And the rewards inside are definitely worth giving it a shot if you have a red key, of course. If you it is high risk. You could lose your red key, so be careful. But if you do get it, this can reward up to 180,000 cubicoins, and that's the base table, people. So if you live in the US and you see a red boosted vault, you could potentially get over 300,000 cubicoins from that. So keep an eye out for that. That could happen while you're on your hunt. New auction house.
Oh, just want to be super clear about this. One player has one shot to do it. If you miss the question, the red vault disappears and it goes back to green.
Yeah.
So one person who finds it has a shot to do the red, and then it resets and moves to a different location.
Yes.
Next week.
All right, let's talk about the new auction house. Again, this was a highly requested feature from the community, and this was a lot of work, but we managed to get it done. So the new auction house runs on cubicoins instead of keys, has much more filters and sorting capacity. You'll see that once you start playing. And it has an entirely new feature. It features a buy now price, but buy now price, only players with an account level of 30 can list items with a buy now price. So you kind of need to be a seasoned Cubiverse player before you can start listing items with a buy now price in the auction house. Buy now price means it's like a lot of people, they don't like the auction house. They go to the auction house because they need a certain resource, for example, or they want a certain cubie. But what they don't like is just the haggling and the bidding war that often ensues, especially on hot ticket items. So these people, they don't mind paying a premium to get the item instantly. That's what the buy now offers. So when you list an item, you give your starting bid like usual, but you can also say, you know what, if somebody wants to give me this amount of cubicoins for it, I'm willing to just give it to him instantly. That's the buy now. Okay. So there are certain situations where this could be extremely interesting. For example, let's say it's reset time and the daily quest is equip a zombie cubie, right? If you have an account level 30, you can instantly flood the auction house with zombie cubies with a buy now price. So a lot of people who want to complete the quest can instantly get the zombie cubies. So if you're, so we'll see what happens, but I think this could be shaking things up a little bit. And then also a super high requested feature is you will all now have a buy history and a sell history in the auction house. Okay, let's talk about.
The most requested feature is actually the fact that you can type in the amount that you want to pay for something.
Oh,
rather than swipe, a million cubicoins, you can actually type that number in.
Yeah, no more swiping keys like crazy to outbid somebody. Okay, let's talk about the weekly export, the export system. We talked about this in previous Hunter Lodge. There are 3 export mechanisms: cubicoins to crystal keys, which happens in a vending machine; cubicoins to crypto, which happens in a crypto export terminal; cubicoins to gift cards, which happens in branded structures, like we showed in the last Hunter's Lodge. Okay, let's talk about the first one. Vending machine will be part of Wave 2, so they will be introduced soon after launch. So that's the place where you can convert your Cubicoins to Crystal Keys. Cubicoins to crypto export, that happens in the crypto export terminal. So you will not be able to build these at launch. Again, this will be part of wave 2 of the structures. However, what we are going to do is we're going to manually place crypto export terminals in the places where we have them working currently, which is every city in El Salvador with a Cubic crane will get a crypto export terminal, and every city in the UK with a Cubic crane will also get a crypto export terminal. So these two are working, and we are still working with other export partners for Canada, Philippines, and Malaysia, and they should also be ready before the end of the year. And then Cubicoins to gift card, we're still working on this. The goal is to get this also out before the end of the year. So that will also be after launch. Okay, let's talk about the new shop. Some changes to the shop. So we will have, as you can see, we have 3 sections in the shop. We have limited drops, crystal keys, and blueprints. The limited drop section, that will now cost Cubicoins instead of keys. Crystal keys, we have more crystal key bundles. That was another highly requested feature. Crystal key bundles, and then an entirely new section of the shop at the bottom here, which is the blueprint shop. That's where you will buy all the blueprints for all the structures you want to build. Now, one thing to note here, the blueprint shop has a separate shop per country, and each country will have its own supply and pricing, because the country has its own pricing because it's determined by the country modifier. So a pizzeria structure in Malaysia will be much cheaper in Cubicoins, in crystal keys versus the same structure in USA.
You can't buy, I don't know, like a crypto export terminal in El Salvador and then try to move it to the United States and build it there. It's going to be locked to the country that you buy it in.
Yes. All right. And then we want to do a little promo for the early birds. We are super excited about the launch of Cubiverse, so we want to give everybody 10% extra on all the bundles that will be available at launch. For the first 7 days, we'll drop another 10% extra keys on top of that, but only for the first 7 days. So you need to be quick to get that. All right. Then a little note here. We need a little bit more room, so we're going to add a digit to the crystal keys. So if you buy $20 of crystal keys instead of 200, you will get 2,000, but we'll also adjust all the pricing. So an adventure pass will cost 2,000 instead of 200. So in essence, it stays the same. We're just going to add a digit to the, to everything. And of course, if you have your stash of crystal keys, when you log into Cubiverse, it will have an extra digit as well. All right, so we talked through all these things. So this gives you a really great overview of all the new additions and changes we made to the game for Cubiverse. I can't wait to get you all hands-on with it. And yeah, it's literally 4 weeks from now. So we are getting really, really close to the launch now. So maybe just a little recap here. We truly believe that this game is unique. There is not, I can't, what comparables are there? I can't think of many comparables. What we're trying to do here is trying to create a game. We made a game that as an element of fun to a series of activity that everybody knows is good for them, right? We know exercise is good for you. We know learning new stuff is good for you. We know making new friends is good for you. We know discovering new things and exploring new areas is good for you. So we created a game where we reward you for doing these things and added a fun gameplay layer on top of all of these things to tie it all together. So I really believe Cubiverse is going to be a lot of fun, and we can't wait to see what you guys are going to think of it. So again, early access launch 4 weeks from now, October 3. Or October 2, 5 p.m. period. So October 2nd reset time is when it will go open for everybody. Okay, but we're not done. Of course, we're not going to just launch Cubiverse and then call it a day. So we already started working on the first big content patch for Cubiverse. What is going to be in the first big content patch? First of all, we will add the ability for everybody to level up their structures. That's a major addition that will be in the first content patch. And we will launch 4 new structures that will be available to start building. The blue UVs, you will get trade shacks, you will get vending machines, and you will get crypto export terminals. So you will be able to build those at the locations you want them to build in the first big content patch. And also, of course, the first big content patch will also add the first big event of Cubiverse. And I don't know if this is this is literally my favorite event of the year. So I couldn't be more excited to just get started with the Cubiverse and have the first event to be Halloween. I think that's just perfect. So we're working on Halloween. It's looking amazing. And so we're going to have 4 new cubies, Halloween themed cubies, 1 new common, 1 new rare, 2 new epics. And this first big content patch for the Cubiverse will be released on October 26th. So that's 23 days after launch.
Yep. And there's gonna, obviously the cauldron mechanism will be around. So everyone seems to like that. You like to sacrifice your kittens. So there'll be something else that'll be in the cauldrons.
Yes. Okay. Then the next Hunter's Lodge, let's talk about that. That's going to be Sunday, October 29, right before Halloween, 11 a.m. PDT. Oh, and one more thing. We want to thank all of you guys. We have the most amazing community. I've been in the gaming industry for 30 years, and most gaming communities are extremely toxic, but ours is full of love and full of joy. And we just want to thank all of you for being so incredibly awesome, to be honest. So we're going to reward everybody who was an original Covenant World player. As soon as you sign into the Cubiverse, and of course, you need to sign in with the same email address from the Covenant World so we can carry over your account. But if you do so, we will ship everybody a new OG QB. This is the silver OG QB. Everybody will get a blueprint. It's an epic blueprint, but it's super easy to print. But it will give you an epic experience boost. And it looks super cool in the game. It has like this shiny silver metallic material to it. So, don't forget to let everybody know, sign into the game, and you get the silver OG. So, there's going to be 2 phases of OGs. There's going to be the OGs who have the silver QB, and there's going to be the hardcore OGs who have both the silver and the gold OG.
So if you have friends that you think are going to play Cubiverse, you might want to get them to just create an account right now so they can transfer that over.
Yes, and the same thing like the gold OG. This is a 1 print, so it burns after print, but it gives epic points and counts as an epic QB. But the recipe is only paint, so it's pretty easy. So that's it. I mean, I'm ready to build. I don't know about you guys, but I can't wait. So let us know. Submit your questions here. We're going to take a little break here, and in about 10-15 minutes, we'll be back to answering some of your questions. All right, I'll see you then.
Thanks, guys.
Yo, hello, hello. Okay, hold on. Is this working? Yeah.
Hey everyone.
Okay,
Hey, so
hold on.
there was tons
Yeah.
and tons of questions. If your question doesn't get answered, I mean, you can always reach us on Discord, but I mean, there's tons of questions. And a lot of duplicate ones. So if your specific question didn't make it, hopefully we'll answer something that was similar enough where you'll get the answer that you're looking for.
All right. Leppy, you here?
I'm here.
All right, let's kick things off.
Absolutely. And a reminder to everybody to sign in to Coin Hunt World today if you want 3 contest boxes. Let's start with our first question from CJ. What does an export boost token do?
It resets the weekly exports. So if you have one token, you can, in essence, export twice a week instead of once a week.
Wait, just for that week. So it gives you one extra export when you use it.
Yeah, and there will be multiple places in the game where you can get your hands on these.
Okay, great. And from Rubik's, I have multiple of the same cubie. Will there be a way to swap between them, assuming they have different zodiacs, affinities, levels, etc.?
Yeah, so we reworked the entire inventory, so the inventory will look very different. And if you go to your QB section in inventory, it will have it will show all the extra parts of the cubies that we're missing now. So if you have 3 Doge cubies, you will see them side by side. You'll see each one which one is the highest level, etc. Yeah.
Okay, from NOP, iOS users won't have enough crystal keys to buy next month's Adventure Pass. Will there be a mechanism to buy crystal keys at launch for iOS?
We can only start by selling crystal keys on iOS once we get past test flight, and we have no control over that. So it's our intention to get past test flight ASAP, but I don't know when that's going to happen. It could be a week after launch. It could be 2 days after launch. I don't know. It's out of
Or it
our
could be at
hands.
the same time as launch, right? Like we are, we're working on it. Right now, the hope is simultaneous launch, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Thank you. And will there be any notification when a red vault has spawned locally, or is it just if we notice it?
No, you will get a notification, so everybody will get broadcasted. I think it's everybody in a 10-kilometer radius will get broadcasted that the red vault spawned nearby. So if you have red keys to spare and you willing for a challenge, sorry, then it's going to be a race between all the other local hunters to find it and solve it first.
Yep. And I saw somebody suggest that success or fail, we should broadcast. And I like that idea. So if you attempt it and you fail, we'll still broadcast and show like who tried it and who failed.
Yeah. So you
That's
might
fun.
have to do the walk of shame after your red vault.
That's fun, sort of. From Selmio, how do you get the gold OG QB?
The gold OGQB was given to players who are who are with us like from the very beginning of Coin World, like two years ago. I think we gave out to everybody. So it's super hard to get now, but yeah, you
You're
can't.
going to trade for it in the auction house.
Yeah, you can't get it anymore. That was only a one-time thing for players back in 2021, I believe.
Thank you. From WTF Tuma, will the worker QB level affect anything in an advanced print shop?
Yes, it will affect the level of the worker QB should affect the printing times of the rapid print. So in an advanced print shop, you have a unique feature. You have a regular print, which is the same as the base print shop, but you can also do a rapid print where it goes a lot faster. So the rapid print will go even faster with higher level QB stuffed inside your advanced print shop.
Okay, from CMC Chunk, when Cubiverse launches, do we need to download a different app on iOS, or will it be an automatic update through the App Store?
No, it will not be an automatic update. This is an entirely new game, and so a separated app, everything. So you will need to download Cubiverse app from the App Store as soon as it goes live.
Is that also true for Google Play?
Yeah, yes.
Thank you. Will early access include iOS, even if via test flight, or is only Android required?
No, early access will be both iOS and Android. Uh, yeah, but again, it might be in the beginning, it might go through a test flight, depending on when Apple approves this. But since it's a new app, we have 10,000 slots, so we should be good for a little while.
Yeah. And we feel pretty bullish about getting through the Apple process this time.
Yeah, we did everything they asked us to do, so there is no reason anymore to deny us access to the Apple Store at this point.
Okay, from WR Wilm. How is retroactive XP for monument completion being handled?
Yeah, so this one is a little tricky. So we can solve this in two ways. Both have issues, so there is no perfect way to handle this. The first way to do this is to retroactively give everybody experience points that already completed a monument in Conan World. However, that experience points will then be applied to their account level because you have to have a QB selected. So it's just going to go to account level. So that's one way to solve it, which is not perfect. The other way to solve it is also not perfect, which would be to reset everybody and have everybody redo the monuments in Cubiverse. I'm open to talk about this with the community, but that will also mean that everybody who climbed the Coco Crater needs to go and do it again. So I don't like that either. So they both have cons and pros and cons, but we can talk about it and see what you guys want to do.
I'm all for everybody hiking it again. I haven't done it, so, and I probably never will. But I'm all for everyone else to do it again and live stream it. It was a lot of fun. I
Bill,
enjoyed it.
if we hit 1 million users, then you and me have to hike Coco Crater. How's that?
Okay, I guess we'll do it.
But no streaming.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want anybody to watch me fall through the railroad tracks.
Okay. Um, since the Halloween event starts on October 26th, will it run into November?
Yeah, the Halloween event, I think it starts October 28 or 29 or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
so very
that's
short.
pretty
I
typical of
believe
our
the
Halloween.
slide said 26th.
No, the 26th is when the content patch goes live with
Oh, okay.
all the new stuff. So the Halloween event starts a couple of days after that.
Yeah, and that's been typical of how we've done them, right? They usually span a few days before and a few days after the actual Halloween day.
Okay, awesome. From Psycho Jelly Bean, how will the vault trivia difficulty be adjusted for blue vault countries which are now getting white vaults?
Yeah, so White Vault trivia is easier than Blue Vault trivia. Trivia team has been creating separated data sets for White and Blue Vault trivia.
And we have a lot of data on like pass and fail of questions. So if something is like 95% success, if it's super easy and it was a blue question or a green question, we just downgrade it to a white. So like the team has stats on how easy certain trivia is or isn't.
Yep.
Okay. Will old approved locations that were user vaults in Coin Hunt World but had since been removed become white vaults, or are only currently constructed user vaults going to be system vaults in Cubiverse?
Only currently. So if they have been removed in the past, I don't think they will show up in a Cubiverse.
Okay.
So but there must have been a reason why we removed them. So it might have been bad locations or something. So we wanna keep them up clean and learn from the mistakes.
Okay. It was mentioned that the buy it now function was locked behind an account level. Is the auction house itself also locked behind an account level? And what steps will we need to go through before being able to use it?
The auction house is still locked behind HQ level. So a new player, they will just focus on hunting until they get acquainted with the core gameplay loop of the game. Then they will start leveling up. They're working on leveling up their HQ, and when they get to level 3, I believe, is when they start unlocking buying from the auction house. Level 4, selling from the auction house. So that is still tied to HQ level.
Yeah. And And keep in mind, the reason that we're locking something like buy it now on an account level is if you spend that much time to level up your account only to try to exploit it, then we're just going to ban you from the auction house. So, you'll have wasted months worth of time, to do something abusive in the auction house.
Yep.
Okay, from Corkio, will the referral system be different than the old referral system? And since it is a new game, will we be able to refer players to Cubiverse that were already in Coin Hunt World?
It will be slightly different. We are making some tweaks, but really it's not like a major overhaul. So the basic system, how it works with the reward table that we know, what we have today, will still be in place.
One of the things that we're looking at is we want to give export coupons as part of the referral system. So when you refer a player and they really engage with the game, we want to be able to reward you with an export. But so that'll be TBD. We'll have more details probably at the next Hunter's Lodge. And then in terms of like, if you've already referred somebody and they're playing Coin Hunt World, you can't refer them again for Cubiverse.
Thank you. From Chugoi, does the XP assigned to a cubie get assigned when printing based on when you start printing, when it finishes printing, or when you pick up the cubie from the print shop?
I don't remember. I'm gonna have to dig into the design documents for that, but I'll get back to you on that.
It probably makes sense at the end when the printing's done.
Yeah, it's definitely not when you start it. It's either when the printing is done or when you pick up the QB, but I'm not sure which one of the two it is.
Thank you. From Desperate UKer, for the CETs in the UK, is it a weekly reset per CET, or could a player travel between different cities and hit multiple CETs?
No, it's a weekly that goes for all of them. So you can only do max one a week unless you have a cooldown token.
Yeah, it's one export a week. So you can choose to do crypto export. You can choose to do gift card export. You can choose to convert to crystals, but you only get one per week unless you have the export coupon.
Thank you. From Toasties, what are the other ways to increase export caps?
No, there is going to be a very special mechanism in place, something you have to do with your cubies to get them past level 10. And I'm not ready to talk about that yet, but most likely next Hunter's Lodge will have that.
From FeedGoat 2000, will we need any special structures for Halloween?
Hey, there is definitely something special in Halloween that you have not seen last year, but that's all I want to say about this. I want to keep this a surprise. It's my favorite event. I already gave a couple of Easter eggs during the intro video. There are some Easter eggs hanging behind me there, so that's enough.
Okay, we have a question. What are elements and zodiacs for?
Yeah, so once we have all these different elements and zodiacs into place, we can come up with certain constraints for certain buildings, right? Let's say we ever come up with a structure that is like a tree house that does something. Maybe a tree house that acts as a quest hub where you can where you have to do a quest that is like very nature oriented. Okay. Well, then that treehouse, when you build that treehouse, you need to stuff it with a QB, but obviously that QB will have some kind of requirement. You can only stuff QBs which have element forest attached to them. So all the forest element QBs will be able to stuff that particular structure, and so on, of course. So that's why these QBs have the different elements.
Yep. And the opposite can be, or not the opposite, but we can also use some of those attributes to lock some content. So you might need a specific QB to access, I don't know, like a new structure in the future.
Yep.
So it's not just staffing the structure, but it's actually like accessing the structure or fulfilling some part of a quest.
Yeah. Imagine you're walking in Seattle next to the harbor, and suddenly you see like a harbor type structure with a boat sitting on it and a pirate captain on the boat, and it says, "Hey, you want to do a quest? then you get on board of my ship, but only cubies with element ocean are allowed on board. That's the kind of stuff you will be able to see in the future.
Thank you. From It's Not Marco, when the Cubiverse launches, can I finally play the game normally in my country of Germany and get points and everything? Or are there any limitations? If so, what are these limitations?
Yeah, so very shortly after the early access launch, we're going to start opening up new countries. And I'm pretty sure Germany is one of them. And we will do a soft launch in those countries, and which will mean you can do almost everything, except you won't have active leaderboards yet. And we will not host a German event, national event, like we have for the other countries yet, until your country reaches a certain threshold. I think it's 100 daily active users. Once we see 100 daily active users in somewhere around the world, we'll put dedicated development effort to create like its own country QB, its own country event, and we will activate all the leaderboards for them. That's the plan.
Thank you. From Boot Scootin' Boogie, how many tags do we need for Advanced Print Shop?
Okay, any structure only needs one tag. It just needs to be a compatible tag. So the advanced print shop needs a tag that is type store, I believe. What did I say? Store, right? So you just go around and look for where the stores are in your local area and look for a store that has a store tag on it, and boom, that's where you will be able to print a advanced print shop.
Another question we have is, will there be in-game rewards or bounties for getting businesses to purchase boosts?
Yes, but we'll talk more about the boost system later.
Yeah, there'll be something there to incentivize players to own locations that are boosted.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, from Nikki94 Boo, what do you do to get explorer points for the leaderboard?
Yeah, so explorer points you get from solving yellow vaults you have not solved before. So the first time you solve a yellow vault, you get a big chunk of explorer points. We're probably also going to apply that to green vaults as well. So the more you go out to different areas, and okay, I never went to San Diego and hunted there. So if you go there and you hunt all the yellows and all the greens, you will come back a whole bunch higher on the explorer leaderboard. So explorer leaderboard, you're gonna have to travel in order to climb the ranks on that. It's I mean it's called the explorer leaderboard. Hey, come on now. Come
Okay,
on.
from the Malfoys, my QB Air boarding pass and last year's Christmas trees are burning a hole in my pocket. Will these items be usable in the QB-verse?
There is plans for both of these items. So the boarding passes will be tied to our purple tier content. That's coming later. That's going to be like absolute end game content for super hardcore players. But the boarding pass will require to access that content. And the Christmas trees, yes, you will be again planting Christmas trees this year during the Christmas event, but instead of planting them on top of your user vaults, you're actually going to have to plant them on a tree tag. So wherever there is a real tree in real life, you will be able to plant a Christmas tree.
Thank you. From Lady Evie, will every state in the US have a yellow vault?
We will definitely add more yellow vaults,
Yes.
and it's definitely the plan to get at least one in every state.
Yeah, we're in fact we're gonna need that for some quests that we have planned. So I think you know, if you're excited by a 50 state road trip, well, that's only going to happen once we have a yellow vault in every state.
Yeah, the ultimate explorer king. Okay, we said too much.
From For All Goo, are there any resources that won't be transferred from Coin Hunt World to Cubiverse?
I don't think there are any that will not get transferred. I can't think of anything.
Yeah, just the only thing is, recipes will change for blueprints.
Mhm.
We have another question from an international player. Is there another way to get the silver OG skin since I could never play the real Coin Hunt World because it was not available in my country?
No, sorry. That's only for coin and world players.
We have a question from Team Tanager. Will the green system vaults disappear in El Salvador?
Yes, so only the green vaults that have been claimed will be in Cubiverse. However, um, i- at some point we will start selling green user vault structure blueprints in the shop, so people can then start building their own green user vaults. Like, however, those will have a lot of restrictions. We don't want those to be anywhere, so they're gonna have to all be on some prime locations, parks, etc. So we need to find the right combination of tags. Um, to make that happen. But that's definitely planned, yeah.
And it'll take effort to
Oh,
level.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. You will need it. You will need a level 10 blue UV in order to put a level 1 green on top of it. So it will be a while.
Okay, from Betty. Will I be able to convert my Coin Hunt World user vaults back into user vaults in the Cubiverse, or will they stay as system vaults if there is no tag?
So the whole new build system doesn't is not compatible with old build system. You can only build on top of tags in the Cubiverse build system. So only when your old user vault from Coinant World has a tag on it, you will be able to turn it into a new UV in Cubiverse. However, don't be too afraid. We literally imported millions and millions of tags, so you will definitely find some tags around in your area. And if you don't, that means that means I mean, then we'll have a guide for you on how to breed some life in your local OpenStreetMap situation, because if you have nothing, that means that nobody in your area bothered to map anything in the last decade on OpenStreetMaps. So then it's up to you yourself to do it or find somebody to do it, but we will create a guide on how to actually do that. It's really not that hard. It's a little clunky UI, but I added a bench to a park here, a couple of blocks away, and it took me 3 minutes to add a bench to OpenStreetMap.
Okay, from Jybone. What are the dates for the Halloween event? I get the sense she wants to plan ahead.
Yeah, so I think it starts 28 or 29 October, and it will last for 7 days.
Thank you. From Blue Cubie, approximately how many structure blueprints will be released in each shop drop? Do you expect them to sell out?
I guess so. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be similar to how we did the green UV drops. So they'll come out in waves. We want them to sell out, and we want to be very careful to not oversaturate it. So if we release, say, 50 pizza shops, once they're sold out, we'll wait a bit, probably like maybe a month or if not longer, before we add them back into the shop again. We really want to make sure that um, that they sell out, that people build them, level them, that they're in good locations before we start adding even more.
Thank you. From FeedGoat 2000 again, who's very bothered, it looks like, by the interface. Can you switch the My Items and My Bids buttons to the opposite side so that all buying and all selling are on the appropriate sides in the auction house interface? Please and thank you.
Really? Did we miss that? I want to take a look at that. That's funny. Let's take a look. Because my OCD would have kicked in too if I noticed that.
Yeah, it's a good thing to fix if that's
I,
not set
but
up.
I don't get it. It's correct. No? What am I missing here? Buy is on the left, sell is on the right.
I think she means that my bids ought to be on the left and my items ought to be on the right. Because when you bid on something, you're trying to buy it.
Yeah, okay. Yep. I'll make that happen, especially for you. No worries.
Thank you. From Braden, will red keys be used in the QB other than for boosted red vaults? Will you be able to convert QB coins to gift cards during the test?
Yeah, so red keys will definitely be used, just like it was in Covenant World. Every event, in order, if you want to complete a question, will require all colors of keys, except purple, of course. So that is not changed. That's going to be the same. There will be some changes to the quest change, though. You will see. You will get well. I'm not going to spoil it. You'll see. So yes, definitely, still red keys are needed for quests. Sorry, for events and for when a red boosted vault pops up. And the gift cards, it's probably going to be wave 3, so we're still working on that, and it will get introduced to the Cubiverse. The first structures like the pizzerias, etc. It should be coming in November.
From Turtle Duck, what rules will be in the new auction house? For example, if I want to list something expensive for a very low buy it now price, will that be considered cheating like key transfers are in Coin Hunt World?
That will definitely raise some flags, and you will get the anti-cheating department will start monitoring you, and which is never a good thing. So yeah, just use common sense, people. Of course, there's always edge cases, but please just use common sense, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's the same. Repeat the warning that I provided earlier. If you spend all that time, leveling your account, don't do something that's going to make us lock you out of the auction house or ban your account.
Okay, last question from Gamebra01. Are we getting 2,000 crystal keys when we buy with QB coins?
Yes, I mean depends on the yes, yes, that
Well,
does depend. Yeah. I mean, depends on how many cubicoins, right?
yeah.
So it's kind of a confusing question, but the values have not changed. So for $20 USD value, you will get 2,000 cubicoins. So if you spend 20 USD value dollars in cubicoins, you will get 20 USD dollar value of crystal keys, which is 2,000 now.
Okay, and that was our last question. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Excellent. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, 4 more weeks and off we go. Hope everybody's ready. Take care, everybody.
Well,
Bye.